If you're looking for a PC build, that's around 1200 bucks, you came to the right place, because not only I will show you a $1200 gaming desktop, but I will also show you how to make this PC cheaper without losing much performance, and how to make it a bit more expensive if you want that extra performance. Now, it's really important for you to stay until the end of the video if you want the right PC build for your budget, and remember that all of the components will be listed down below in the description. But not only these components, also the downgraded and upgraded parts that I will mention, and on top of that, if you want a Prebuilt PC, you will have different Prebuilt PCs for your budget in case you don't want to see my video about the best Prebuilt PCs of the month. With that being said, let's start. Now, the first thing that I will talk about here is going to be the CPU. It's the i5-12400. The reason on why I picked this 6-core 12-thread processor first, mainly because it's a great performer, but secondly it's because you get the iGPU, so it's going to be a good CPU also for content creation, even though I picked this PC for mainly gaming. But if you wanna do content creation, the 12400 will help you out with video editing softwares. And of course it will also be great for gaming, and because we get the Asus Prime B660M Micro ATX motherboard, you will be able to upgrade the CPU if you want to the newest 13th gen from Intel, coming really soon. So going with the 12400 will give you not only a great performance for right now, but also upgradability down the line, where if you pick the Ryzen 5 5600 or just any AMD CPU right now, you won't be able to upgrade to DDR5 unless you get a new CPU down the line and a new motherboard. Then for the CPU cooler, I picked the ID Cooling SE214XT. I picked this one a lot for this type of CPUs. This is a $20 budget CPU cooler, and it's going to get the job done for this type of CPUs. There's no reason to go over this budget for a CPU cooler. Then for the memory kit, I picked the Silicon Power X Power Turbine 16 gigs of RAM. This is a kit that's running at 3200 MHz CL16 memory. It's all that we're going to need. You definitely don't need anything more than that because you won't notice any difference while gaming. So I think that this is the sweet spot for gaming nowadays. For the storage, I picked the Western Digital Green SN350, 960 gigs of M.2 NVMe SSD. Once again, this is a standard. You can go with more or you can go with less. If you're going to play heavy games, and I'm not talking about high intensive GPU games, I'm talking about heavy games when it comes to storage. For example, Fortnite, it's a heavy storage video game, but it's not a high GPU demanding one, but nonetheless it's going to take up a bunch of storage. So if you play games like Fortnite, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, and you want to install all of these, I do recommend you going with 1 TB. But if you're just going to play games like CSGO, Minecraft, and Valorant, then you might get away with 500 gigs of SSD pretty easily. And now for the most important part of this PC build is going to be the graphics card, and I'm going to explain on why I picked it. I picked the ASRock RX 6800 XT with 16 gigs of VRAM. This is a beast of a GPU, even for 4K gaming, but I would buy a 1440p monitor for this type of PC, mainly because 4K monitors are really expensive, and believe me when I say that the jump from 1440p to 4K is not as huge as the jump from 1080p to 1440p, and for that reason I think 1440p is the sweet spot for gaming, and I wouldn't aim for 4K, but if you want to go for a 4K monitor and spend that amount of money, that is totally up to you. But I'm just saying that for gaming, 4K is not going to be the best option, in my opinion, in terms of price or performance. Of course, if you want to do video editing and content creation, 4K might help you out, but for gaming, I think that 1440p is a sweet spot. Now, if you want to go for Nvidia at this price point, you will be able to get the RTX 3070, which is still a great GPU for 1440p gaming, not so much for 4K, and it's going to be slower than the 6800 XT. So if you want gaming performance, I think that it's a no-brainer to get the 6800 XT instead of the 3070. But if you want to do some heavy content creation, the RTX 3070 is going to be better for that. And maybe you value ray tracing, DLSS, and those technologies, then it's totally fine to go with the 3070. But for most people and for gaming, the 6800 XT is going to be the better option. Then for the case, I picked the Thermaltake B150. This one has a front mesh panel, 3 RGB fans pre-installed, and it's going to get the job done for this type of PC build, and I think that it's a really good looking case, and it has great build quality and airflow, so your components won't hold back over time. Now, one thing to mention is that for just $20 extra, you can get the Lian Li 215, and that one is a much better option, but it's an ATX case and we have a micro ATX motherboard. Now, of course, we can fit this motherboard inside of an ATX case. It's just going to be a bit weird, but in terms of performance, don't worry about it, you can go with an ATX case. And if you want to upgrade the CPU and CPU cooler down the line and you want to put, let's say, a 280 all-in-one liquid cooler in the top panel, you won't be able to do this with the Thermaltake one. So if you're looking to put a liquid cooler on the top panel down the line, I would recommend you going with the Lian Li one. This one was my #1 case on my PC cases video. By the way, you will have that video in the top right of the screen if you're looking for a gaming case. Then for the power supply, I picked the Enermax Revolution DF 850 watt 80 plus core power supply. Now, this is a bit of an overkill for this PC build. You can get away with 750 watts, but it's worth to mention that if you want to upgrade this PC down the line for more powerful components, you will need at least 850 watts, and this is an A tier power supply, meaning that it has great build quality and it won't explode and risk your components, which is the most important part at the end of the day. Now, the total price for this PC by the time that I'm recording this video, it's $1,195, so you're getting a 4K PC build for this price. I think that it's pretty well balanced and you will achieve the performance that you want on your favorite games. Now, if you want to make this PC cheaper, I would recommend you going with the AM4 platform, so going with all AMD, picking the Ryzen 5 5600 and the ASRock B550N micro ATX motherboard. That is going to save you around $60, and trust me, you won't notice a big difference, especially while gaming. So it's not like you will lose a bunch of FPS. The performance will still be great for 1440p without any issue, and also 4K. So unless you want to upgrade your CPU down the line and you want to upgrade to DDR5 and make all of these huge jumps, then I would say that the Ryzen 5 5600 is going to be a better option because you save up some money. But if you have those extra $60 to spend, definitely go with the 12400. And then if you want something even cheaper, I would recommend you going with the 500 gigs of SSD stick. This is going to cost you around $30 less, so the total price will be $1,100 instead of $1,200. So you can save $100 and have the same gaming experience, but you won't have the same amount of storage and the same upgradability path, and that's something worth mentioning. And of course, if you wanna go for Nvidia, I believe that you can get the RTX 3070 for $50 cheaper. So that's another way to make your PC cheaper. And if you wanna make this PC a bit more expensive and better in performance, I would get 32 gigs of RAM. You can get the G-Skill 32 gigs of RAM kit at 3200 MHz CL16 memory for $90, and it's going to improve your performance mainly when it comes to streaming and opening a bunch of tasks. Not so much on the gaming part, but in games like Flight Simulator and Warzone, this is going to help you out for your 1% lows, meaning that your game is going to be much more steady with less FPS drops. If you do this upgrade, the total price will be around $1,238, and if you want RGB RAM, it's going to be around $1,250 total price. So I think that it's a really good price for the PC that you get, especially if you're looking for something that's around $1,200 and it's going to perform great in every single resolution. So if you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly, hit that bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content, and you will also get notified when I upload YouTube posts about new deals in the market, whether it's for components or Prebuilt PCs, and that is something really important because you don't want to miss out on these chances to buy something at a cheaper price for a great performance. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for support, and I will see you on the next one.